It began in the Age of Chaos. Yet through time and battles untold, the war of life ever rages through Gyran. Once again, the demonic forces of Nurgle look to spread their corrupted blessings, proliferating the filth and disease of their dark god. Tireless in her pursuit to banish this contamination, Alarielle and the vengeful spirits of the Sylvaneth look to confront their ancestral enemy. Will the goddess of life be successful, or will the grandfather's blight prove too resilient to root out?
Hello and welcome to Season of War. Tonight we have a very exciting game for a number of reasons. First off, welcome Lionel. First time on the channel, so this is a good friend of ours, all of us that play together in our group. We've been competitive teammates for a number of years.
For a little bit, yes.
Yeah. Also nearly my neighbor.
Very close.
Yeah, and the owner of X Planet Games, so our local hobby store where we play at. That's where obviously we all met and started gaming together. And so obviously, yeah, excited to have you on the channel.
Yeah, man, excited to be here. I think this is going to be wicked. Look at this table.
Yeah.
Like, wow.
Yeah.
It's even better in person.
Yeah.
It is. This is actually better in person.
Nice.
This looks great.
This is our Gyran table, and suitably, we have the best army from Gyran playing against the second best army from Gyran in the Sylvaneth playing against Nurgle today. Obviously, story-wise, huge battle between these two over the ages, fighting for Gyran. And obviously, we're to see who is the victor in this one.
Yeah, man. Like, we're literally battling for who gets to call each other daddy.
Yep. And we're pretending it's Dur, though. Obviously, we are playing with the GHB from, obviously, the AoS 3, all that stuff, all that information's out. So we're playing with all of it.
We're trying.
Exactly, yeah.
We're trying.
Yeah.
I can't promise we'll be perfect.
Yeah. But just a couple quick things to go over before we get started. As always, this matchup was chosen by our premium members, so they knew I wanted to play, or actually it was, you were playing Nurgle, you were bringing your Nurgle out, and they obviously voted here. They wanted to see the big Gyran matchup. So,
absolutely,
yeah, great choice by our premium members.
Yes.
Talking about our premium members, we actually just recently hit our latest premium member goal, which is to add an extra battle report every month, which is like kind of a specialty format.
Nice.
It's going to be like team games or 2v2 or
hopefully we get to that.
Big games or small games or Warcry, different stuff like that. So just fun way to kind of diversify. Also, we want to do a bunch of like the narrative Broken Realms missions and that kind of thing. So a lot of ways to have fun doing stuff a little different. So excited. As soon as July hits, that'll be the first month we have that extra game going up. So look forward to that. And super exciting, our next premium goal is actually to double our content output. So we do 4 battle reports typically a month with 1 extra for premium members. That's going up to 4 extra for premium members a month as soon as we hit that goal. So obviously got to work towards that. It's going to be a couple weeks, but hopefully we can hit that goal with your guys' help. And again, super excited to be creating more content and playing more games, and I mean, loving AoS 3 so far, so super excited.
I got more armies.
Yeah, Lionel has a bunch, so definitely gonna have to bring you out and get more. A lot of destruction.
Yeah, destruction is definitely my my spirit animal. Yeah. Like, destruction is absolutely awesome, but I love the journey. Love the journey with Nurgle. I got to tell you, this is a lot of fun.
Beautiful looking army. I'm sure you guys are enjoying those hero shots already. And the only other thing to mention before we jump into it is obviously Gyran terrain. This is all our printable scenery terrain. Again, working with these guys has been a blessing. You can, again, look at the table, how came together pretty easily too. It's beautiful terrain, easy to paint, easy to finish up. So if you have access to a 3D printer, definitely check out Printable Scenery. We do have an affiliate program with them now. So if you do grab any models from our link in the description, we did a little kickback. So good way to support the channel while you're grabbing beautiful terrain for your tables. So, so jumping into things today though, the mission we're playing is called Marking Territory. So this is one of the ones for the new GHB 2021.
Mission 12.
Yes, sir.
Yes.
So there's 4 objectives on this, but there's no scoring at all in the game. The way you get the major win is controlling all 4 of these objectives at one time. Pretty tough. I think this is definitely going to be tough.
What I really love about this is that we're not actually keeping score. So we're not going to go over that. It's like, do you have 4? No? Okay, move on.
Doesn't matter.
That's
exactly.
That's it.
The only thing that is going to matter, though, is the battle tactics. So that is the first tiebreaker. Whoever scores more of their battle tactics throughout the game. So if it comes down to a tie, nobody takes all 4, that's the first tiebreaker.
Yeah.
The second one, if you're tied on battle tactics, is if you completed your grand strategy or not. So again, a big important one, choosing that for your army. That's the third tiebreaker. If neither of those happen, it just is a straight draw. So we'll see. It could be a close match here today.
You've weighted one side as well because you think you could square up against my fat man. Yeah. You're wrong. But you left a big open bait zone on one side. Just so nice.
Yeah,
so nice.
There for the taking.
So nice.
But I mean, talking about your army, perfect lead in. Why don't you take us through your army list today?
I got 2 blobs, 30 plague bears. Then I have my Great Unclean one. The Great Unclean one has the bell and it has the bile blade. I also took a Scrivener. Yeah. He's got a big mouth just like his owner. And then I also took a Bile Piper, who just is the best named model in the entire game. Sloppity Bile Piper. He is absolutely fantastic. I took 3 drones. They also count as 2 models a piece now in 3.0, which is pretty sweet. Yep. And then I took my man Horticulus. And then my grand strategy is hold the line.
Okay.
Because I'm counting on my anvils to be anvils and stick
one of them has to survive with one model. So.
And we're going to have to kind of mark it because I might be summoning some stuff. So we just have to make sure that
that wouldn't count for it.
That would not count. No, because they weren't part of the original crew, so to speak. I think that's it, man.
Awesome.
I've waxed poetic, and now we go over to the less important trees.
Yeah, sounds good. Well, as you guys can see already, I am running Alarielle. I'm doing a different glade today and with my Sylvaneth, playing Gnarl Root for the first time, which is obviously the magic casting one. I have 3 wizards today. Alarielle, I have Drycha, and then my general, which is a branch wraith. She has the command trait and the artifact. The artifact gives her the 3d6 casting and drop a dice. Otherwise, I took Durthu, who has the generic artifact for a 5-up mortal wound save. It left me obviously low on points otherwise, so I just battle line. I have 3 units of Tree Revenants, and then I have a unit of 3 Turnoth with Scythes. Had to take those ones because they are 10 points cheaper, and I am 2,000 points on the dot. And then with list building, obviously, I took 2 battalions today. One of them is the Battle Regiment for the 1-drop. And then the second one I took was Warlord for the artifact and command point. And then the grand strategy I chose today was prized sorcery. So basically, I just have to have one of my wizards survive to the end of the game, and I store that. So with the battalions and whatnot, you were 4-drop here. I was 5.
That's right.
So you did that right, Jordan. And you're going to have choice of how this game starts.
I am torn, really, really torn. I would have normally just given it to you. If I go first, I'll gobble up territory and just deny where you could put the trees. And that is a big reason why I would want to go first. But the way you weighted it, slammed it so hard on that side. If I pony up, I mean, as wonderful as this unit is, that's an awful lot of pop in one section of the map. So I might not be as aggressive as I was hoping to be. Yeah, I'm going to give it to you.
Sounds good?
Yeah, I'm going to give it to you.
All right, we'll do it. And just before we get into things, we're going to do the battle tactic and heroic actions in our recap here before we jump into the turn. So my battle tactic for the round is going to be Monstrous Takeover. Pretty much a guaranteed one here. I have to have a monster contesting an objective that I control at the end of the turn.
Wait.
So as long as I leave a monster on an objective, I'll store that one. Super easy here off the bat. And then heroic actions, I'm going to do heroic leadership for the command point, rolling that 4 up. And I do get it, so I do get an extra command point this turn.
Well, that's poopy. I will also do... and not get it.
So
but we're still at even.
Yep.
So, yeah.
And with that, we can jump right into turn 1, round 1. Sylvaneth going first.
At the beginning of the round, Drycha's mercurial aspect is embittered. Starting off the hero phase, Drycha casts Verdant Blessing to summon a Wildwood. Alarielle casts Throne of Vines but is unbound, then casts Mystic Shield on the Spirit of Durthu, but fails to cast the Spite Swarm Hive. The Branch Wraith casts Rouse to Wrath and summons 10 Dryads. 2 units of Tree Revenants teleport using their waypipes. The Spirit of Durthu uses Spirit Paths to teleport between the Wildwoods, and the Dryads follow using Navigate Realm Routes. In the shooting phase, Durthu uses all-out attack and kills 3 Plague Bearers, but Alarielle misses with her Spear of Kurnoth. Ending their turn, there are no points scored on this mission, but the Sylvaneth forces do achieve their battle tactic.
Alright, so Sylvaneth turn 1, not the most eventful. Though I did have an exceptional magic phase for Sylvaneth, getting 3 out of 5 spells. That's...
You did 2 damage
to me? Just like hope for. Yep, you did 2 damage to yourself was the first blood, so if he just keeps doing that, I'm feeling good
16 turns later.
If your army kills itself, I'm happy. Big things in this turn though, relocated a little bit just to tag this objective so I claim it, for the
okay, admit it, you were baiting me.
Yeah, of course, always.
Yeah, that's right.
Bait here, Dreich is in the center, waiting for you to come into her, just inviting. And then over here, I just kind of relocated, moved the Dryads that I summoned as a screen over here as I moved Durthu over. I didn't get Spitesworn Hive, so I wasn't an alpha charge into you anyways. But here I'm in a position where I can kind of counterattack regardless. And yeah, got a Dryad screen up there. Alarielle moved onto the objective, which does score me my battle tactic for the round, being that I have a monster contesting an objective I control. So we're off to a great start. Perfect score on battle tactics. Yeah, so that's it for me. We will be jumping into Nurgle turn, but you have your grand strategy or your battle tactics, to choose.
I do. The battle tactics, is the
same one.
Is the same one because it's so hard to get.
Then let's heroic actions.
Yeah, I'm just gonna go for the CP. What do you pick?
Heroic. I'll be doing heroic leadership as well. So looking for some extra command points.
Boom. Nope.
No, neither of us. So,
but I start my turn. You get a CP.
We both get one for our generals.
And there it is.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So we'll be jumping into Nurgle turn 1.
At the start of the hero phase, Horticulus Slimix summons a feculent Gnarlmaw from cultivating the Garden of Nurgle. The Nurgle forces generate 6 contagion points. The Great Unclean One uses Grandfather's Joy on the Plague Drones. The Spoilpox Scrivener uses Infested with Wonders on the Plague Bearers. The Great Unclean One casts the Umbral Spell Portal, but is unbound, then casts Glorious Afflictions on the Kurnoth Hunters. Because of reverberating summons, units within 7 inches of the Great Unclean One get plus 3 inches movement. At the end of the movement phase, the Nurglings deep strike using Hidden Infestation. After the plague bearers charge in, the spoilpox scrivener calls for a count of the tally of blows. Avoiding tagging Durthu, the plague bearers use all-out attack and kill one dryad. The dryads then attack back, dealing no damage, but take 4 mortal wounds in return from one last gift. In the battle shock phase, the dryads use Inspiring Presence, and the Nurgle turn ends as they score their battle tactic.
Non-eventful turn. So the Dandelions didn't do much on their turn, and to be honest, our heroes didn't really do much on our turn either.
Yeah.
I wanted to do a bunch of stuff, but they're a little too far away. I try to position myself so that I am not necessarily punished if Jordan doubles me. I mean, it kind of sucks if you win priority.
Yeah.
Sure, whatever. Yeah. I'm cool with it. If I win priority, at least I'm a bit deeper in, so maybe I could take advantage of a little bit more. I nudged here, doing sweet nothing, but I did get my Nurglings in a position to apply a little pressure, to threaten to cap something.
To do something, yeah.
And then I pushed over here. Now, this is kind of an insidious blob. I'm not too concerned, and although you're looking at all those bad guys coming at me, every single 6 they roll, they take a mortal wound. So if he comes at me, I'm good with it. And if he doesn't, I'm still good with it.
even in this round, you only killed 1 dryad, but 4 dryads killed themselves attacking you. So
as the pimples burst, it was great. And that's how we do mortals.
Real nasty. Oh yeah. No. So what you love.
So yeah, that's it. Scores. I scored my battle tactic.
Yep. Monster controlling.
And by score, I mean I achieved it.
Yeah.
We're not actually keeping score. That's it.
All right.
Yeah, that's all
nice.
I got.
Well, I think we
doing
jump
it again.
into priority then.
Okay. All right. What are we doing?
2 for me, 4 for you.
I also rolled 2, and then another 2.
Yeah. So your choice here.
All right. I'm gonna go lumberjacking. You're gonna watch Jordan cry in a few moments.
Sounds good. So
sounds good.
Going into Nurgle turn 2.
And for my battle tactic, I am going to pick Conqueror, which is basically me trying to take an objective off Jordan that he controls.
So you're picking this one.
That is probably the only one I can't even try to go for.
Yeah.
And my battle tactic is the one that generates CP.
So the heroic action.
Heroic action is the CP generation.
You get it, yes, you get the extra CP. And I'm going to do heroic recovery on Drycha. I roll under her bravery, so I do heal D3. Yeah, it doesn't matter. That was a 3 though, but there's only 1 wound to heal. So Drycha's full health again.
Yeah, whatever.
And yeah, that's it. So we'll be jumping into Nurgle turn 2.
The heroes.
The Nurgle forces generate another 6 contagion points, bringing them to a 12 in total. In the hero phase, the Great Unclean One uses Grandfather's Joy on the Plague Bearers. He then has Mystic Shield unbound, but successfully casts Plague Wind, dealing 4 mortal wounds. In the movement phase, the Plague Drones use at the double. In shooting, the Great Unclean One misses hitting the Dryads with his noxious bile. Looking to get into action, the Plague Drones uses Forward to Victory, but still do not make their charge. At the start of the combat phase, the Spoilpox Scrivener calls for a count of recorded stamina on the Plague Bearers. The Tree Revenants use all-out defense, and the Nurglings fail to deal any damage to them. The Tree Revenants then deal 3 wounds in return. The Plague Bearers pile in, tagging Durthu and the Kurnoth Hunters, finish off the Dryads, and deal 2 wounds to Durthu. The Spirit of Durthu uses all-out attack and kills 2 Plague Bearers, but takes 3 mortal wounds in return. The Kurnoth Hunters then pile in and also kill 2 Plague Bearers. In the Battle Shock phase, the Plague Bearers return 2 models thanks to their Icon Bearer. The resiliency of the Nurgle forces is starting to wear down their foe, but they do fail to achieve their battle tactic this round.
So my turn. It was a turn. I unfortunately did not. The big highlight was I did not complete my battle tactic. It was a bit of a Hail Mary pass. I really was hoping that my drones were a bit more closer to make it kind of likely, but that didn't happen. So I pivoted, went to the middle of the board. But overall, my Nurgle army is doing Nurgle things. I did not complete my battle tactics, so now he's got spots where he can try and go for his own, which is unfortunate for me, but we'll see.
And just before we jump into my turn, my battle tactic for the turn is going to be Ferocious Advance, so I have to pick 3 units. I'm going to pick these 2 units of Tree Revenants and this Branch Wraith. They all have to run and end within 3 inches of each other. So that will be my battle tactic for the round.
I didn't even read that one. That's an option?
Yeah, that's a
I
good
gotta
one.
pick that?
Yeah, so.
Okay, so first thing you need to do is read the battle tactics.
And then heroic actions for the turn. I'm going to do the heal one with Durthu. Rolls under his bravery, so he heals deal D3 for 2. So he's healing 2 wounds. He's back up to 8 right now. He's taking a few wounds between mortal wounds reflecting and
the power
Nurgle.
The power of Nurgle.
Yep. And then you were doing
Horticulus is gonna have his finest hour.
Okay,
like sweet. Right now.
I
think he's gonna get some heat, and if that says he's not, then I'm cool with it.
Yeah.
Then don't shoot at me.
Well, it's great as a deterrent. I did that against Ridge with Alarielle.
Well, we only got so many more rounds.
Yep. You gotta use them, and you can only use it once per game,
right?
Per hero. So
yeah, and I'm not too worried about Fat Boy yet, because he's still fat and still boy. So
he's doing good.
He's doing good.
Yep.
He's doing good.
Awesome. Well, with that, we'll be jumping into Sylvaneth turn 2.
Jumping into the hero phase, Alarielle casts Throne of Vines, but has Metamorphosis unbound. Dryja casts Verdant Blessing and summons a Wildwood in Nurgle's backfield. With her last spell, Alarielle casts Spite Swarm Hive and then heals 4 wounds from Sylvaneth units with Life Bloom. The Branch Wraith again casts Rouse to Wrath to summon 10 Dryads. Ending the hero phase, the Spite Swarm Hive uses its Shielding Swarm on the Kurnoth Hunters and Alarielle, but not Durthu. In movement phase, the Dryads teleport across the battlefield with Navigate Realm routes. In the shooting phase, the Plague Bearers use all-out defense as Drycha targets them, killing 5. The Spirit of Durthu then kills 2 Plague Bearers, and Alarielle kills 4 with her Spear of Kurnoth. At the end of the charge phase, Durthu fails to stomp with his monstrous action, and then also fails his ground-shaking stomp. Durthu then uses all-out attack and kills 11 Plague Bearers, taking 2 mortal wounds in return. However, the Plague Bearers return 5 models this turn thanks to their icon bearer. The Sylvaneth forces do score their battle tactic again this round, giving them an edge should no one capture all 4 objectives.
Alright, so Sylvaneth turn 2, pretty effective in terms of, again, just trying to double down on and kill that unit of Plague Bearers.
Yeah, pretty awesome.
But you brought 5 back right at the end of the turn. Yeah.
Roll the 1.
Twice, that's 2 turns in a row now.
2 turns. So brought 5 more back.
Yeah.
How big of a deal is that? Not really.
But yeah, in general, pretty much just consolidated. Again, I summoned another 10 Dryads.
Yep.
Teleported them back there after summoning a wood. So
Boo.
I do have a threat on your backfield objective right now.
Yep.
And otherwise, just obviously I'm strongly deployed or positioned around my one objective. Out of combat here, so I could do some Wildwood teleports depending on priority and what happens next.
Yeah, but I'm missing that battle tactic. Basically,
it put me in a position where I can castle on one objective potentially.
It means I'm out.
Yeah,
is what it means.
Well, it's gonna be you have to get the major win, or start denying me at least one battle tactic. Which I'm running out of the easy ones.
Major win. All I have to do is knock her big fat butt off that objective, and that's gonna be hard. That's gonna be real hard.
Also, we didn't mention it yet, but I did store my battle tactic here. 3 units with running and ending within 3 of each other. Man, it was easy in this case.
Really wish I read that.
Yeah, but I mean, you have other turns. You'll have that option, and obviously, I'm running out of the easy ones to do.
That's great. Yeah. That's great.
Otherwise, though, again, no storing here. So I do have my 2 battle tactics, though, and we'll jump into priority then.
Oh, before we do that, at the end of your turn, he's just going to hopefully heal back nothing. Yay! Okay. And then we go into priority.
Yes, sir. Let's do it.
Let's do it.
That's a 5.
There's a 2. I was eventually going to lose 1.
Yeah, so I am going to give the turn away here.
All right, folks, after much deliberation, as we're trying to get a grasp, or at least I'm trying to get a grasp on all the options, I'm in a bit behind the 8 ball. Plain and simply, you've scored a battle tactic, and I'm still 1 back.
Yeah.
You are starting to run out of easy ones where I have a few. I could still.
You have got options.
Yeah. So I have to score a battle tactic this round. So what I'm trying to do is score a battle tactic that is slightly harder, which is destroy a unit. I'm picking out. Sorry, again, what's it called, Jordan?
Broken ranks. So destroy a battle line. So pick and destroy. So
yeah,
choosing that.
And then my heroic action will be to generate a CP.
Okay, sounds good. So 4 up for that.
Nope.
Nope. And I am going to roll to heal Big Boy Durthu. So lower than bravery, get that. And so he heals D3 for 2.
Yeah, it's been good, man.
Yeah, been reliable with that.
Yeah.
And otherwise, we'll jump into Nurgle turn 3.
Yay!
The Nurgle forces generate 9 contagion points this turn, bringing them to 21 in total. This turn, the Great Unclean One uses Grandfather's Joy on himself. In casting, the Great Unclean One fails Plague Wind and has Arcane Bolt Unbound. Ending the hero phase, the Spite Swarm Hive uses its Shielding Swarm on Durthu, the Kurnoth Hunters, and Alarielle. At the end of the movement phase, the Nurgle army uses all their contagion points to summon 20 Plague Bearers, reinforcing their objective. Again looking to charge, the Plague drones use Forward to Victory but fail to make it into combat. At the end of the charge phase, the Great Unclean One and Durthu use Titanic Duel, and the Wildwood deals 3 mortal wounds to the Plague Bearers. Starting off combat, Durthu uses all of defense, and the Great Unclean One only deals 1 damage to him. However, Durthu fails to deal any damage, and then takes 1 mortal wound in return. With their unlucky charging, the Nurgle army again fails to score their battle tactic.
Another really hard turn for me. I kind of stretched it off for the battle tactic to try to eliminate that unit. I failed to charge, which was heartbreaking.
And the reroll.
With a reroll,
yeah,
all I needed was a 6. Rolled a 4, then rolled a 5, and wah.
It's something about destruction players.
It is what
can't
it
make
is.
their charges. Not that you're playing destruction today, but
it is what it is.
You know.
I was just saying, Jordan, this we rolled this randomly, so we didn't pick our lists ahead of time. So it's not like Jordan knew what we were going to play. But when we played into this, we're just looking. I was like, man, if we were just playing with points,
completely different game.
I'd be doing really, really well, and I think your army would have a harder time
dealing with the bodies.
Keeping up. But in this, just as soon as you get ahead on the battle tactics with your tight little castle of just like awesome over there,
we saw even in my deployment.
Yeah,
I knew what I was doing for the start, right?
Yeah, I'm in a super tough spot. We're playing really for.
Well, you still have a chance in the major body wise. You could try and flood and take that. Otherwise, I have
a camera over here, right?
Yeah.
Do you want to take a shot at what I have to go through to get the major? Yeah. So I have to blow through Drycha, this unit of Kurnoth Hunters, and then the Goddess of Life. Yeah. She probably could do things.
And don't worry, I still have her summoned as well, so I'll be able to summon some more help as well.
That's true. That's true. We're definitely playing for.
I mean, there's a lot for
a moral victory.
Yes and no, because at an event or something, I would still want to try for the major, right?
Yeah, for sure.
Maybe you go out of position or whatnot, capitalize on mistakes, but
I'm more erring.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you're right. If this was a tournament we were competing, I would push into the next turn for sure.
Yeah. The only other thing, if, Dan, like you're saying, major win would be tough. And it would probably expose you to the major loss.
Yeah.
The other thing is trying to deny me from 2 auxiliary objectives. So I would need to score 2 out of the next 3. So just before we jump into my turn, looking at the battle tactics, I'm going to choose Savage Spearhead for this turn. So this is having 2 units from my starting army. So the summoned one doesn't count, but in your territory at the end of my turn, I have 3 units that teleport as battle line for my starting army.
You can probably do it.
Yeah. Hopefully I'll be able to do that one. But then we can just jump into heroic actions, and I'm going to, unsurprisingly, heal Durthu.
Yeah.
So roll lower than his bravery. I equaled his bravery, so he only heals 1 rather than D3.
Well, that's something.
Yeah.
I think it's his time.
Yeah.
It's his moment. This is it. Finest
hour on him?
Wow, nice. Hour is such a strong word, though.
Or finest, whatever
it is. Finest moment. All right, so he's going to have his finest moment.
+1 save, +1 wound.
Yeah, you got it.
Might as well. Yeah, no, I think that's a good call.
Yeah.
So, obviously we generate our command points. I am going to generate my extra command point from my battalion this turn. So I'll get 1 for general, and then the extra once per game will put me up to 4. Going to try and make good use out of them this turn. And yeah, jumping into Sylvaneth turn 3.
Bam, let's do this.
In the hero phase, Alarielle casts Throne of Vines and Metamorphosis, dealing 5 mortal wounds to the Great Unclean One. Alarielle then casts Regrowth, healing 5 wounds from Durthu, and uses her Life Bloom to heal a total of 4 wounds for the Sylvaneth units. Drycha then fails to cast Mystic Shield, and the Branch Wraith casts Rouse to Wrath, but was unbound. At the end of the hero phase, the Spite Swarm Hive uses its Shielding Swarm on Durthu, the Kurnoth Hunters, Drycha, and Alarielle. At the end of the movement phase, Alarielle summons 20 Dryads with Soul Amphorae. In shooting, Drycha deals 4 wounds to the Great Unclean One, and Durthu deals 2, but takes 2 mortal wounds in return. Looking to finish him off, Alarielle does connect with her Spear of Kurnoth, slaying the Great Unclean One. The Spirit of Durthu charges in, dealing 1 mortal wound with Stomp, then uses all-out attack and finishes off the unit of Plague Bearers. Ending their turn, the Sylvaneth forces score their battle tactic, putting them in a strong position to play defensive and take the minor victory.
Alright, so finishing up Sylvaneth turn 3. Big things, obviously, killing the Great Unclean One.
Yep.
Charged, killed a unit. And then obviously, like I said before, did the Deep Strike to get the 2 battle line units, or 2 units for my starting army for the battle tactic. And I did it a little late, but then summoning this unit of 20 Dryads, as I said.
Just to cinch it, just to make sure.
Just to, exactly. Keep the body, like, even if you hit my flank and kill those guys in front, it's like impossible at this point, which is obviously what I wanted. And actually, based on this here, it's pretty much a sealed game for us. We were just talking it through, where you have no chance to take mine for the major. No. And because I've stored all my battle tactics, I only need to store 1 more, which, based on the ones that are available, it's a guaranteed.
You got the minor, there's no 2 ways about it. Yeah, for sure.
There's a slim chance that I would, in an event, maybe try and play for the major in these last 2 rounds. Like, it would be a really tough ask, and I wouldn't even do it if it exposed me to losing my own objective, right? I wouldn't ever risk the minor in this case.
Yeah.
Now, a big thing to mention, it didn't impact the game because of how priority went and me choosing to give away round 3.
Yes.
But the GUR option or ability to burn an objective.
Yes. Had
you have 1 priority, you could have given away to me.
Yeah, we noticed it after. Again, we're still new to 3.0.
Yeah.
And then I was like, hey, wait a second.
We could have.
Holy cow, we could have burned one. If I had gotten it, I could have burned the one that she was sitting on.
Which would have forced me.
And then that would have meant I didn't have to take risks. You could still have been ahead of me on the battle tactics. Yeah. But instead of going for risky battle tactics, I can now just settle and nest, and then the shift would have
I would basically only, because it's round 3 on, if you control all the objectives, there's only 3, you would get the major right away.
Oh, really?
It's like knife to the heart.
Is that what it said?
Yep.
Oh,
so
what a cool.
So I would have had 1 turn, basically. You would have put the pressure immediately on me to take one of these objectives, and I would have to take it and hold it for the rest of the game.
Right.
So a lot of pressure compared to how safe and defensive I was.
That didn't happen.
Didn't happen. I won priority, gave away the turn. So, but really risky strategy for me in hindsight to only double down on 1. Yeah. Again, if you had burned it, it could have, if things played out differently, could have bit me in the butt and made it really tough for me. I could have,
It was so cool. I gotta say,
great mission.
The mission didn't. I obviously did. This is not good playing into this mission.
Bad for you.
But I really, really enjoyed the mission. This was just so. I've never played a game where scoring didn't matter.
I mean, there was like knife to the heart, but not
Yeah, there's knife to the heart, but it was like.
There's an old one in the core rules, but it hadn't been played ever in events.
I've never played it. Yeah. So this is my first experience with like 4 objectives, not knife to the heart, because knife to the heart's a bit of a different thing. But it's cool. It's really, really, and then inserting that GUR thing. Yeah. You just remember that. Would just be. It's so cool.
Safe here because I won priority away the turn, but that could have gone really dramatic. Could have gone really badly.
That would have been amazing. Me, so, that would have been amazing if that happened. That was good. Thank you very much for the game.
Yeah, that was a super fun game.
You got. I'll give you this.
Yeah, close one. So got only the minor though. So only a minor victory.
Still matters.
But yeah. Might not have been the most exciting one, that's for my strategy in terms of playing really defensive, but
it worked.
Looking at, obviously we play competitively, and a lot of people want to see how these lists and armies perform and match up, in an event.
Yeah.
This is my strategy, right? I need to play super defensive. Maybe not quite this castly, knowing that you could burn that objective.
Yeah,
but
yeah, in retrospect, really, you mean if that actually happened, holy cow!
I would really have to.
That'd have been a tense roll at that point. We were just like casually rolling it. Oh, look at that!
And even my indecision about giving it away.
Yeah, I know.
I really, again, having to have that, and it's so impactful in the game. I would have needed to be like, thinking about that turn 1, turn 2. So
yeah,
where was really what I would need to do is push that objective so much faster,
harder.
Here I was very slow about it. I can give this one up, still treat that the same. I just would have had to push that so much faster. That tree would have been on the other side, try and snake around, stuff like that.
Yep.
That's the strategy I would need to take if wanting to play so defensive at the start.
Yeah. If you're gonna choose
really
that tack.
By turn 2, I have to be like confident the next turn I can take an objective.
Here's hoping, right? Yeah. Well, that's what the priority really involves, is just positioning so that you can.
Yeah.
That's the thing, right? People are like going, oh, if I gain priority, I win. If I lose priority, I lose. And it's like, no, that's not true at all.
If you're missing the strategy and you're not planning ahead or thinking about the opportunities or the risks, it can definitely catch you out. And that's where you can have some.
Yeah, and if you go all in, guess what? When you throw a giant punch in a fight, it leaves you open, right? Yeah. So if you don't contact, you get your jaw knocked right the heck off.
Just as a little, speaking of giant punches and double turns, if you're not a premium member, our most recent battle report was a premium exclusive one, which featured the Guardians, and there was a double turn in there that was very impactful. That's all I will say. So if you're not a premium member, consider joining, support the channel, help us continue to grow and evolve and add more armies and all that fun stuff. And, keep making good battle reports for you guys.
Giants are not bad.
They are good. I have
They're not bad.
A very newfound respect for them after our last game.
They're not bad.
But I think that's pretty much it for today.
Yeah,
we'll wrap it up here. Lionel, thanks so much for the game. Always a pleasure.
You know what?
Playing.
This was awesome. This was awesome. Thank you very much.
Look forward to having you back on the channel. And we'll see you guys soon in another battle report.
See ya!